Hi there, welcome to Comic Cast. My name is Aaron, and tonight we're going to be looking at some comic omnibus recommendations, as well as looking at the three major players when it comes to buying your omnibuses or collected editions, and that would be Amazon.com for you, for the guys in the U.S., in stock trades, and of course cheapgraphicnovels.com, and I guess maybe organic price books if we get a chance to look at them as well. But I want to make this a fairly quick video, something that's not going to go on too long. I've got three quick omnibus recommendations for you. And tonight I decided to do some DC stuff. And I decided to choose three omnibuses that you can buy for people that may not be into comics or may have just kind of dabbled into it and they want something different. Maybe they want Spider-Man or Superman or anything along that line. So we're gonna give comic recommendations tonight in Comic Cast for the people that may not be into the superhero characters. And we start out with Gotham Central. This is probably one of the big ones. Ed Brubaker and Greg Rucka work on this one. One does the day shift, and one does the night shift. This is not a superhero book. This is about Gotham Central, exactly what it says. It's about the precinct and how regular detectives deal with the fact that they live in a world where there's supervillains. This one here collects altogether I think the entirety of Gotham Central, which should be listed here, but it is issue 1 to 40, and it is an amazing run of comics. We get some really good stuff here, some great storylines. We start off with In the Line of Duty, and basically it's a simple story in that some cops go to check on an informant. They accidentally knock on the wrong door where Mr. Freeze is. One gets frozen and automatically dies. The other loses his hand. And that's the start of Gotham Central. There's some really good storylines in here. There's great stuff with Renee Montoya. You get to meet a lot of characters in here. So Gotham Central, I know you're probably expecting like Jim Gordon. Now this is at a time when Gordon's not part of the police force. And it's kind of good because there's a lot of baggage and a lot of stuff we know about Jim Gordon. So to let these other characters come to the forefront and think like kind of like a more of a noirish take on the world of Gotham. So it's not going to be campy. This is not like Gotham as in the TV series, but Gotham Central is really, really good, extremely well done, and it's by a crime novelist, and you can tell. Second one is sort of a superhero, but not in the traditional way because it's written by Grant Morrison. For those who know the work of Grant Morrison is one of those guys that definitely thinks outside the box. If you ever read his Batman run, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Zernar. But this is probably the one right here that most people kind of fall in love with. This is Grant Morrison's Animal Man. It started out to be a traditional comic book, but by the time it got to the fifth issue, you knew exactly that you're in for something that you would never expect. And the ride, hey, isn't my kitty cat's there. Isn't all what you think it would be. I'll show you the issue to the comic that helped change comics in general, and it's right here. So if you've ever read that comic, you know exactly what I mean. It opened my eyes and it kind of broke my heart. And last but not least is another run by Ed Brubaker. I just think he's a fantastic writer. And if you want to read actual like good stories and not have to worry about the fact that whether it's whether it's more comic oriented, whether it's more Superman or Spider-Man type thing, you want to read just some really good, a lot of kind of grittier stories. Then Ed Brubaker's run on the Catwoman of East End is really good. And this one here as Catwoman issues 1 to 37, Catwoman's Secret Files and Origins, #1. It has the Catwoman Selena's Big Score. That's an important storyline, by the way. And stories from Detective Comics 759 to 762. Oh, by the way, Animal Man has the first 26 issues of Animal Man and Secret Origins. So those are all the ones that Grant Morrison wrote for the series. So I recommend those three omnibuses. If you are a comic book collector, if you're an omnibus collector, if you don't have them, any three of those, I could pretty much just say they are amazing, amazing works, and you will not be disappointed. If you have an omnibus collector or a comic book lover in your life, maybe they've collected comics, but they haven't got any omnibuses. Maybe they're not sure, and they've kind of dipped their toes in. This is a great place to start. A lot of people tell you like Dark Knight or something like that. I'm not going to tell you that because I don't think that's a really great place to go when it comes to starting into comics. Um, Never been a huge fan of Dark Knight Returns, but it's it's a good story. But let's look at what's here. So as you can see, we're looking right here at I'm going to bring it up at in stock trades. Now, as you can see, there's Black Panther right here, and there's a Black Panther right there. This is, of course, the same omnibus. The way it's done is basically that we have the one there, this more painted one, is the standard edition. You can get in any place. This one here, this with the Jungle Action cover, that is what we call a variant cover. That's a DM cover, direct market cover. So direct market covers usually have like more like looking like the comic book as opposed to there. Now, not everyone is going to have a direct market cover. This one is running at $77.50. I'd wait a bit on this one. 38% off, really. We'll check around to see what's got the best price in some of these. We got the Bronze Age Batgirl here at $57.99. It's actually not a bad one for that. I definitely got to give a recommendation of Black Hammer. Too bad the hardcover is still not out. That was a very good story. If you've never checked it out, it's Greg Lemire. I did some amazing work, and you want to look into the world of Black Hammer. There's some really good stuff there. Strangers in Paradise, if you're more of an indie fan, gets a strong recommendation. I did not know there's an omnibus out, actually, but apparently this is the new printing of it. $76.99. I used to have almost a complete run of Strangers in Paradise in floppies. Floppies are regular comic books, but I don't have any of them now, and I would love to have them back. Books of Magic Volume 1 is out here with 65% off. There's a great price on that, $52.50. If you're into like the Vertigo era stuff, so you like Sandman and that style stuff, you're probably going to have a lot of fun with this one right here. Now, here's one that I have. It's on its way, and that is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. You would think that this could be like more of a kiddie omnibus, or it's He-Man, right? But it's pretty incredible stuff. I have to say, there's things in that are just amazing. Trust me, you will not. I got this for a really good price. I got this for under $50. Actually, in Canadian price, 87 there is still a bit for this one though. This is a huge omnibus. It's one of the really big ones. It's got like the modern day like He-Man stuff. It's got He-Man like the Thundercat stuff, and it has the early He-Man stuff from the 1980s as well. And Hack Slash, the omnibus. Now these are more trade paperbacks. These are not really omnibuses. They call them omnibuses, and they're thick, but they're not that. They're not omnibus thick and not omnibus size either. This is done by Dark Horse, I think. And I got the first. I got number 2 and 3, 2 of this one, and they're really good. They're great reads. Just make sure you get them at like the $17 price range. But let's look at cheap graphic novels. I want to see some different stuff here. And I thought this was out of print, but I guess it's back. So Absolute Carnage was a really good, like a kind of crossover with kind of a Venom Carnage storyline. It's really well done. It's kind of horror-esque in some of the stories, especially one. There's one kind of like offshoot story about a Carnage, basically about a symbiote that goes to this little kid's house whose parents are splitting up, and it's pretty horrific. It's like the Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing levels of horror. It's really great. Pretty much Cletus Cassidy, he's dead, but he's come back. Basically, he's the symbiote has taken him over, has come back, and wants to get all of the people that have had symbiotes in them before. There's a part, and I think it's in their spine, that he has to kill them and rip it out of them to give to the god Null, who is the leader of the symbiotes. And that leads into a bigger thing called King in Black, which we'll talk about in a little bit. As you can see, there's the Adam Warlock ones, and here again, this is the DM cover. And here is the looks like this is the regular cover. The regular cover this time actually has a comic book cover. And I'll be honest with you, they're both really nice, but Although the Thanos is on this one, so but I do like this one right here. I'm not seeing a lot of great prices here. The Alien original years is really good. The Predator is Omnibus is finally coming up on December the 27th if they don't change it. I love the artwork here for this one here. This is Mendoza. But let's hit Amazon. And the reason I want to hit Amazon.com because basically you're going to see over the next few days uh, Black Friday deals coming up. And I'll be back here doing a live video talking about the Black Friday deals and seeing what comes up. Because you can see some of these here are actually still pretty pricey. Spectacular Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1. This is kind of a big deal because there's been, at this point, 5 Amazing Spider-Man omnibuses, but this is the very first time that we're getting a Spectacular Spider-Man omnibus. I was able to get this one. As you can see, it's listed here for 125 American, but I got this one for under 90 Canadian. If an omnibus, watch near mint condition and guys like that, because basically near mint will let you know ahead of time when there's announcements for like omnibus that are eventually coming out. And when you see them, like keep an eye on Amazon. When you see them come up, if you're not going for a direct mark cover, if you just want the omnibus for standard cover, then one of the best things you can do is hit the pre-order because you can always change your mind. But if you hit the pre-order, you'll get the lowest price, and in a lot of cases, that's tremendously different. I've seen an omnibus go from like $89 to $90 and then shoot up to $187 to $193. So omnibuses are getting more expensive now. So you really got to look into when you buy them and where you buy them at. That's why before like something like Hellblazer, which is running at 87, it's 150 American, which runs to about 197 Canadian. So you're getting it at 42% off. But back in the makes not going to age myself because I've only been collecting omnibuses for a little over a year and a half. But back even about a year or so ago, this here would have been like $40 to $50 on in stock trades. We got Ultimates by Mark Millar and Hitch. I'm not a huge fan of the Ultimates, but if Ultimates are, as Mad Dog would say, your jam, then worth checking out. I would say Ultimate Spider-Man is a much better pick. Avengers versus X-Men. It's an event, and I won't say it's a good event either. It's an event. That's what we're going to go with. This is a great price for this one right here, though. Flash by Mark Waid is one of the seminal runs on the Flash. I know people usually go towards Flash Rebirth and Jeff Johns' work on the Flash, but Mark Waid, truly for me, Wally West was an amazing Flash, and The Return of Barry Allen is one of the best stories in comics ever, and that includes not just Flash comics, in comics. $85 for a book that is normally 150 or 195, and in American and Canadian is definitely a steal of a deal, and I would 100% recommend this. I want to see a different one, like a second volume of the Mark Waid. It's really good stuff. I'm hoping that because we got the Flash by Mark Waid, that eventually we'll finally get the Green Lantern Kyle Rayner omnibus because I want to get that too. Extreme X-Men by Chris Claremont. I'm a very big fan of Chris Claremont and run on X-Men, but this is the X-Men one that I don't know. I'm more the old school style X-Men. So Uncanny X-Men volumes 1 to 4, there's a 5th volume coming out next year. Definite recommendations for all of those. Miracle Man was an amazing story, and it is by many people, including the original writer. So the original writer is listed just as that. It's Alan Moore, guys. It's Alan Moore. But he didn't want to have his name on it. Now, Miracle Man is not for a younger audience. There's some pretty hardcore, serious stuff in Miracle Man where I'm going to say you want to really, really like. But it's great. It's a great run, and it goes along the lines of, say, Animal Man, not in the style of that. It takes a darker, more serious one, and it turns it around. Now, here's the King in Black. So I showed you before the Absolute Carnage, and this is kind of the follow-up to that. And if you want the event, then then we have King in Black. But there's also another omnibus coming out around the same time, and that is Venom by, let's just bring it up here. By Cates and Stegman. So I would recommend this over the King of Black omnibus because this one right here, not gives you the all 35 issues of Venom. It gives you the Venom Annual #1, Web of Venom Venam, Web of Venom Carnage Born #1, Web of Venom Wraith, Absolute Carnage, the all 5 issues of that, King of Black, all 5 issues of that, the material from Free Comic Book Day 2019, issue #1, Comic Book Day 2020, issue #1, Incoming #1, and Carnage Black, White, and Blood #2. So it's a ton of great stuff. If you really just want to get, if you don't want to have the, if you don't want to get just have the omnibus, because this one here is going to give you, it'll give you the omnibus, basically, it'll give you the story, King of Black, but it'll give you all of the offshoot as well. And if you don't care about the offshoots and you just want King of Black, then get that, then get the Van Omnibus one. If you're big on like you want to read every story that kind of ties into it, and want to read all the tie-ins, then pick up King of Black Omnibus and go back later on and pick up Van Omnibus. It's definitely worth it. The Immortal Hulk is the first modern day Hulk's omnibus that we're getting. We've just finished off 4 volumes of Peter David, which really concludes his initial run on the Incredible Hulk, and on my opinion, the best run ever on the Incredible Hulk. This is probably second. And after that, they're doing a 5th volume of Peter David's Incredible Hulk to do his more modern stuff, and they're even giving a volume to Maestro, the character created in Future Imperfect. As you can see, there's the 5th volume of the Uncanny X-Men. We're getting some really good stuff here. Miles Morales, again, great stuff. House of M is a storyline that I did like, so I can recommend. If you're going to go for like House of M or X-Men versus Avengers, this is much better. Autumn X-Men Volume 1, not bad. I mean, I got more into it later. I would recommend American Vampire. Scott Snyder does really great stuff with this storyline. This is kind of what I guess they call it Black Label now, but we called it Vertigo back in the day. So American Vampire should run, if I'm correct, 2 volumes, and Stephen King does some work on this. If you are a Star Wars fan, then you can't do any better than grabbing yourself Star Wars by Jason Aaron. It is his complete run on the comic, and it has some Kieran Gillen stuff as well, some Kelly Thompson stuff. It has some really great arcs in here, including probably one of the big seminal runs for us for the Star Wars comics in the modern era, which is Vader Down. If you've never read or heard of Vader Down, trust me, don't look it up, experience it. This is a great one. It's at $66.74 American, so that's a really great price for that one. Brightest Day, it's the decent omnibus. I would say get Green Lantern by Jeff Johns, Volume 3 instead. Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters. Okay. Still, grab yourself the other one. Now you see Animal Man right here is at $63. Definitely it's the time to grab this one. So pick this one up. It's incredible. And if you don't have it, this should be under your Christmas tree, under a Christmas tree of somebody that you know. Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon. Not my favorite, but there's enough like really good stuff in this that I would want it. 52 omnibus. If I was going into a shop and this was at $88, I wouldn't even blink before picking it up. I love 52. The way that they did it, 52 issues. The main Trinity superheroes are not around, so we get to focus on on other heroes, and it's really well done. Spider-Man 2099 was supposed to come out in January. It was pushed back to April. It's okay. It's a fantastic read. Peter David and Rick Leonardi. This is the 2099 universe. They did like a whole bunch of these. They did Spider-Man. There was a new character, Ravage, was created by Stan Lee. Not my favorite. Punisher 2099, though, I really enjoyed. And X-Men 2099 and Doom 2099. I think Spider-Man 2099 and Doom 2099 were the top 2, with X-Men coming in around 3rd. So, and there's an X-Men 2099 and Omnibus coming out next year as well. I still haven't read Annihilation, but I hear over and over again how great it is. Wolverine Volume 3 is coming out in January, and there's just so many good things here. We'll talk about absolutes another time. We'll go through some of the other ones that are here. Journey into Mystery. I mean, if you're a fan of the old school Thor, then yeah, that's definitely going to be your jam. But if you're not, then I'm going to say wait on that one right there. And let's do a quick organic price book just to see what type of pricing they have right now. Now, for me, well, I was going to say in Canada. So when I was in Canada, then this unfortunately this one here was way too expensive to order from. These here, see these absolutes, salmon absolutes, 100%, like 100%. Grab the hell out of those. They are amazing. So I am going to choose Omnibus and pick up. And I want to see what they show us here. See what the pricing's like. Because organic price books have some really great pricing. I got this dab in Omnibus. It's really, really good. As you see, it's sold out right now. It's $65. You know, you can see that Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol, an amazing. It's a thick beast of an Omnibus, by the way. $95. Animosity is another really good one. A definite recommendation there if you're into kind of the more indie stuff. Why the Last Man's a really good story. Batgirl of Burnside, $65 is a fantastic price. That is there's Batgirl Returns by Gail Simone, and Batgirl Burnside is the follow up to that. So I'd say if you can get Batgirl Returns first, definitely go for that. Looks like they've got Nightwing, the Prince of Gotham here for $70, sold out. And this one's a hard find. So yeah, I can see why that one's sold out as well. Adventures in Fear, $100 on that one. Not too bad. Captain Britain's a really good one. It's a very different one. $60 for the for Doctor Strange. It's kind of a thin omnibus, but it's the complete Stan Lee Steve Ditko run on Doctor Strange. If you want to get like Stan Lee Steve Ditko runs, also I'm going to recommend Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 because that is the complete Stan Lee Steve Ditko run on Spider-Man. I actually kind of prefer when John Romita took over because Spider-Man in the Stan Lee Steve Ditko era is a bit more of a jerk, to be honest with you. That's 0 hour. I didn't even know I was going to say sold out. But there are some amazing stuff here. We'll look at absolutes and other types of collected editions next time around. But I think for now, that's a pretty good starting point. It's just a quick little video, a couple recommendations, looking through a few different places where you can get it. So you got Amazon.com, you got cheap graphic novels, you have in stock trades, you have organic price books. There is we'll talk about some ways that you can actually keep a tracker so that you'll be able to see when the lowest prices go on for some of the Amazon omnibuses, and you can use it for other Amazon things as well. It's a little thing called Keepa. If you use Chrome, then all you have to do is download the app, and when you go anytime you go into to Amazon, it'll have a graph that'll show you like the price of the books or anything that's listed there, and it'll let you know when the prices drop down, if the prices dropped down recently, if it's gone up again. So you can kind of sometimes you can kind of figure the pattern when it comes to that. So I recommend Keepa with Chrome because it's the best way to track the pricing of the omnibuses. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today here at my very first comic cast. Hope it's not too all over the place, but it looks like my little kitty cat has finally gotten to sleep. I had to start this one over. But if you like this, please like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and help the channel, help us keep our lights on, and help take the mallard off of the screen so we can finally do these StreamYards without the mallard. Help me get rid of the mallard. That's our goal. Get rid of the mallard and keep this channel mallard free with a lot more videos. And I'll see you soon.